Good morning. It's me, Pearl from Pearl in the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot. And we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energies inside of ourselves. Understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment. And if we want to see changes, we do have to shift and make changes within us. We need to learn how to see things differently from new perspectives and find where we intersect with the people in our lives and go to those points of triggering, find the wounds, heal them. This is how we do it. And today's spread is the release and rebuild spread. So we're going to take the feminine energy and we're going to release something, and then we're going to take the masculine energy and rebuild after this release. The person that you might be here to get information about is composed of both masculine and feminine energy. So you can get information about them as a whole from the entire reading. But it would be better if you thought more about yourself during the whole reading and about how the masculine or feminine side, if you are the opposite identifying gender or biology or however you choose to identify, look at the opposite side. And I'm seeing a hawk right now, which is about seeing the bigger picture. Look at the opposite side and look at the places where you do the same things as the person that you're thinking about. So that's how this works. We're going to hone in first on what we actually need versus what we think we need. This hawk is so beautiful that lives in my neighborhood. Okay. So you come here. I've been doing this lately. I think I'm going to keep doing it. But if you want to close your eyes for a second and just gently hold what it is that you came here for today. Maybe you want information about when a person is going to come back or when they're going to communicate with you. Maybe you want to know when you're going to be able to finally have financial stability or move into a new career. Maybe you want to find out if your person is doing shady things. That's sometimes why people come in and do these readings. So there's something that you think you need to know, you think you need to have, you think it's going to make you feel better. So whatever that is, hold that. And then this is the message that's actually going to be what we need. The Queen of Swords. You know, it's interesting. I actually today, for some reason, I didn't think about what I wanted. I was just telling you what to do and focused on that. A lot of times I will think about that with you, and I didn't. And I think it's because I've sort of embraced that this is what I need. It's like it doesn't matter what I want. I just need to do what's best for me independently of whatever else is happening. And I need to just have healthy boundaries with the people in my life that really aren't showing up, and just maintain those healthy boundaries. So interestingly, I was sort of already thinking about what I needed to get from the messages that I was going to receive today, without really thinking about it. But the Queen of Swords is an independent, strategic queen in total command of her emotions. She can take her intellect and her wisdom and she can cut through any fog or confusion and see directly to the heart of something. She does not have trouble communicating her thoughts. When she's in shadow, in fact, she may be thinking too much. Good morning, Elizabeth. So I do feel that healthy boundaries is the biggest message that's coming through here. Strategy, command of our overthinking, our tendency to overthink, and some emotional detachment that will allow us to be more level-headed, more clear-headed than we have been. I feel like there's a lot of emotion. I was broiling this morning trying to find this box that fell off my desk into like a weird place. And I might not even need it, but I was like, I just had it. It was here. How can it be here, but not here? You know, like I was like, I literally was saying, how can it be here, but not here? And as I'm saying that out loud, realizing how much of an energetic state that the divine feminine really does feel. How can it be here, but not here? Right? Oh, I feel that feminine so much. Okay, so let's go deep into the reading now. We're going to start with feminine as we always do on Fridays because we need to release before we rebuild. And we're going to look first at the general energy. So there is energy that divine feminine is feeling that is causing her to want to release something, okay? The first thing, the top of the deck for the headspace, we're using the Star Spinner Tarot today. And we're getting the Devil. And it is the most interesting Devil card. And then we are getting in the heart space this guy, which I actually think we saw yesterday over there for Divine Masculine, because I actually swapped decks yesterday and used the Ostara in the masculine heart space. And now today I took the Tattoo Tarot that was in feminine headspace and put it back into his heart space. I'm going to play around with this energy a lot. I think it's interesting to do this. But divine feminine, this is, of course, the Eight of Wands in reverse. It is a hawk that I just told you about that I was seeing out there. Or is this a falcon? I think it's a hawk. You know what? I'm going to look at the book to be specific because those are two very different birds. This looks like a hawk to me. Falcons return. So that's why I want to know. It is a falcon. And I guess we know why I needed to open this up. It is a falcon. It says, when the Eight of Wands is drawn reversed, it often signifies significant delays. You are facing obstacles and are growing impatient. You will have to be creative and find new and alternative ways to overcome these challenges. So I guess I was supposed to read that today. So yes, a falcon. So a falcon is a wild bird of prey that leaves its master and then returns to its master. So it's wild, but it's always coming back. And divine feminine is feeling like this is her experience of the masculine energy right now. It's like he gets to do whatever the fuck he wants to do and then just come back. Oh, she's feeling very, 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 very fiery over this. Definitely feel that right now. She is like, no, you don't get to be a devil. You don't get to be to just, fulfill all of your pleasures and be like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, and keep coming back, I'm sorry, because you're not sorry. Sorry is an actual state of mind that requires 4 components, okay? I'm sorry is words. I'm sorry. It was my fault. What can I do to make it up to you? And please forgive me. If you come to your person and say, I'm sorry, it was my fault. What can I do to make it up to you? Please forgive me. And this third component, this request, is not obeyed, then your forgiveness cannot be complete. Because if you are truly sorry, you do not do it again. You do not do it again. If you are not ready to be sorry, that's different. That's fine. Then fuck off is the very strong feminine feeling I'm getting. Remember, now, for the feminine, forgiveness is not for the person. The forgiveness that you give this person is to relieve yourself of holding on to something. When you hold someone without forgiving them, you are carrying a burden. So you must, when you grant forgiveness, you must truly let go of the thing that's bothering you. If you can't let go of the thing that's bothering you, and I know I can't. Like, I keep seeing all this crazy tagged stuff for my masculine, and I'm like, okay, pretty sure this is somebody who signed an NDA and had his kid. This is all the stories I'm telling, right? And I want to illustrate this devil card because devil card is overthinking from the place of ego. So here's what my ego has been fixated on. This masculine that I now am like, is this a karmic, who I focused on forever, like, is tagged in these things that I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure this is his kid. he signed an NDA with this person who is literally a model and like wrote some poems in her stories. And I was like, almost amused. Like, oh, did your dick fall into that? Oh, whoops. And then there's like another one, which is just not even significant. It's just seeing that he messaged, like somebody posted that he messaged, like commented on a video that they had or whatever, which means from his actual regular account, fully functioning, he was able to comment and like a complete stranger from another country's post, a country that he's planning to go to, probably just so he can, you know, be like cute and fun with that person in case he wants to fall into her too, right? This is my ego right now. This is the top of the deck. And I'm like, and he's not talking to me because who could talk to me? Who could look me in the eye after this? And it's not the stuff that he did. It's that he's held me in suspension while he's doing it and then not told me about it. So maybe I'm making all this stuff up right now, which is usually what the ego does. It's like a bunch of stories. He'll be like, that never happened. And I'll be like, okay, well, how the fuck could I know what was going on? Because you never fucking communicated to me. Also, pretty sure that's what's going on. And it's like karma well-deserved. Like I'm watching the unraveling of the karmic and I'm like, I have compassion. Like I'm like, I get it. Especially because you thought he was doing stuff for you. You know what? You can have him. Maybe he will take you back. I hope he does. Like that's the feminine's feeling right now. Woo! Okay. Hidden assistance. Let's get there. The Four of Pentacles in reverse and the Knight of Swords upright. So this is what is helping her. What is helping Divine Feminine is that seeing the masculine look like a dog is really helpful. I'm like, this behavior is so beneath me, it's laughable. And if I showed up in public with you on my arm, I would feel embarrassed right now. Totally embarrassed. Like to try to defend you to my friends and family will be difficult. And I don't know if I can do it. So being honest with herself, and look at this masculine energy wears a bear mask. So this is a little thing that's got to slip in under the ego. That's like, I'm going to let go of him because he's a rotten apple. Okay. There is a truth in this card. The divine masculine is wearing a mask. A ferocious mask. It's a highly protective creature, the bear. It's the biggest, like, I think isn't it the biggest? No, that's the tiger. But like in North America, I think it's like one of the biggest mammals here, or grows to the largest size, like grizzly bears or whatever. This is a very major protective energy. And so while Divine Feminine is seeing the truth, she's seeing this Divine Masculine has been wearing a mask to protect himself from more pain that he has caused the feminine. And when the feminine sees the truth, it will cause him more pain because of the pain that he has inflicted on this Rapunzel energy who's been waiting for him this whole time here up in this tower. But this is what's really helping. The Divine Feminine seeing this individual take this mask off and really seeing what's underneath, seeing the truth. This is helping her stop because I'm like, why am I obsessing over this person who has made such a shit show of their life? Like, do I want to share this shit show with him? No, I don't. I don't have those kinds of messes in my life. I didn't create that kind of drama at all. And I have no desire to be a part of it. So Divine Feminine is really holding on to the truth. It's like, I also am seeing this bear energy too, as it's almost like the universe ferociously protecting her. It's like, you keep taking these things away from me. Why? And the universe is like, because these things are going to hurt you, wound you, kill you, not give you what you've asked for from me. Where did this, what past experience do I need to release? So here it is. the Five of Wands, which came up a lot in yesterday's Tell Me Everything reading. If you missed that, you can click on the link below, pearlsprayers.com, and become a member. It's only $3. And then you can see the Tell Me Everything spreads that are available on the members only site. They're still through YouTube, but you have to access the link through the site. So the Five of Wands, which look right now, we're seeing this divine feminine really struggling here in this image. So this is what she needs to release, this internal struggle she has that's making her feel so vulnerable and stuck. And the Knight of Cups, I believe, in reverse. Let's take a look at this image. So very interesting. This does say Knight, but then when we look into the when we look at the picture, there's a feminine or an androgynous type of an energy that does look vaguely feminine, with a spear that looks like you would use to fish for big, like large fish. And then the spear is actually pointing to Ursa Major, the bear constellation, which we just visited over here. And the Knight of Cups is when the Knight of Cups is upright, we've got someone who is really able to express and flow with their feelings, but it's very wishy-washy energy. So I do feel that divine feminine needs to release this wishy-washiness about this third party that she's holding on to. Okay, there is this individual that divine feminine is focused on in her mind, and that individual has her stuck. She can't move forward into healthy foundation of a relationship because she's waiting for this individual to show up. But I want to just grab what it says here about that, if it says anything about that. Ursa Major. So when it's upright, it says, the knight sails in a flying boat with her face. It is her face turned towards Ursa Major, the bear constellation. I'm sorry. But he's not a bear. It's a person wearing a bear mask. So the truth, divine feminine has been waiting for this provider, protector, this abundant energy. And she's been putting her faith and hope in this cosmic connection of this person who is this, like this bear energy, right? But he's not a bear. He's just wearing a mask. And when he takes it off, he's just a wishy-washy individual that is not able to express his feelings or emotions at all. It says, the Knight of Cups often shows itself through an event or a person in your life. Typically, the Knight is a motivational wind or a sign of inspiration. Pay close attention to the messages your dreams may carry and delve into your creative passions. It is the time to uncover the wisdom of your subconscious and take lessons from the fantastic. However, be sure to apply them realistically. So, divine feminine's unrealistic expectations of this person has kept her holding on to him when he is clearly not able to come forward and tell the truth, whether because he's protecting himself or you or others. That is what is happening right now. When you see it in reverse, it says it is an emotional period for you. You may have recently allowed yourself to delve too deeply into a relationship or a project and are now coming back to reality. Be patient, and this potentially overwhelming phase will pass. Wow. So, divine feminine has been struggling with that truth, which is her hidden assistance. She's been struggling with this letting go of this fantasy of this person to be able to actually provide her with anything. That tracks. Okay. What can I do right now to soothe myself? Four of Cups. in the head space and 10 of swords in the heart space. So the Four of Cups is an energy of fantasy, meditation, grounding yourself into nature, dreams. And we just got the information from the Knight of Swords, or the Knight of Cups, that we need to pay attention to dreams. Divine Feminine, I think, can soothe herself by thinking of her own dreams. Remember, if she was aiming for this person to provide, then what will soothe her right now is understanding that these are her own dreams and they will come to fulfillment. This is also, do not communicate with this individual. This is betrayal, separation. It can mean the end of separation because it's a completion. And this can also, Divine Feminine, you can soothe yourself because you will know you will not stay in a state of separation. You will come into union with the energy of your dreams, the energy that you've been fantasizing about. So you can soothe yourself right now. You don't have to think about the no communication that's going on right now. You don't need to focus on it. Just know that it's going to end, that once these waters have settled down and calmed down, and the energy that you're feeling, the anger from the betrayal has subsided, that you will then be able to have your dreams. And for some, this means you need to end this relationship with this individual that you have been hoping will turn up in their truth, and realizing that they do not intend to do so actually, that they might want to, but it's just something they are wishing for, not something they're actually going to do. What can I expect to encounter as I make space for new energy? Wow. The Knight of Swords and the Magician in the headspace, and the 10, another card of completion, of Cups in the heart space. But it is the 10 of Cups that has these tentacles in them. It has this clinging energy of these two clinging together. And it's a 10 of Cups that has no other enjoyment other than just this clinging energy to this this couple has for one another. So what you have to look forward to is, once you are honest with yourself and finally and fully in your integrity about the manipulation that you have been experiencing from the masculine energy, you will become fully empowered to release this individual that you have been clinging to for all the wrong reasons. Your picture of happiness from the past, that will fade and something new will be able to grow. What behaviors have gotten in my way? Another 10, the 10 of Pentacles. There's a strong feeling coming on the Divine Feminine side of, it's over. I'm not going to engage this way anymore. When I'm honest with myself, I have to let this dream go. But here's what's gotten in her way. The 10 of Pentacles here. And look, it's a 10 of Pentacles where there's an old masculine energy, patriarch, and a dog. What else do we call dogs? Well, I have a female dog, and we refer to her as a bitch, a loyal bitch. That's just here in this picture of the masculine's happiness, but not actually as a feminine. I own my dog. I bought my dog for money, and I own my dog. I could sell my dog. My dog is a purebred white German Shepherd Husky. I could sell her for money if I want to, because I own her. She's my possession. I put her on a leash. She has to go where I go. I might let her go a little bit here and there, but nope. This is my show. I own her, and she's going to come and do what I want to do. We're not talking about what kind of doghouse that she's dreaming of building. We're not like making sure that when I make decisions that I'm taking into account her opinions or her thoughts or ideas. I love her, so I want her to have like a nice yard, and I want her to have toys. I'm actually going to put a send Bowie gifts button so you guys can send her like treats, because she eats like a toy a week. I'm like, damn, I can't like keep buying her all these toys. Like, she's got another like year of puppyhood. I'm gonna need help. So like literally, if you want to send Bowie stuff, you can soon. But this is a dog that I love so much. I will do anything to make sure she's healthy and protected, and I will take care of her until she dies. Are you a dog, feminine? Is that what you want? Maybe that sounds good to you. You're like, yes, I want somebody to own me and take care of me, make sure all my needs are met until I die. And I will go where they want me to go, and I will do what they want me to do. I will obey. I will sit. I will lay down. I will put my paw up. I will not get to eat if they don't think it's time for me to eat. I will not get to go outside if it's raining and they don't feel like it. And then you're getting the Seven of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. So what behaviors have gotten in your way? Being someone else's bitch and waiting for them to feel worthy enough and to have all their financial little hens in a row while you're up shit creek most of the time dealing with your own shit. Nobody there to support you or help you. And then, this dream, this clingy masculine that's over possessive and jealous of me and all these other things. Oh, finally, he's going to come and make me his bitch. And then when he says jump, I'll say, how high? No wonder the masculine loves you. Like I said, I love my dog. I would do anything for my dog, except give her true autonomy. She's a dog. What does she know about it? She's going to kill herself in dumbass ways. She's going to eat herself to death. She's going to eat a bunch of poison. She doesn't know shit, right? I have to keep her from fucking up because she's not a human and she doesn't have the knowledge of like how to navigate this human environment. That's what I think of my dog. I certainly don't want a masculine to think that way about me. Nobody's bitch. That's the problem, right? They be thinking that I'm going to be that way. And then when they find out I'm not, they're like, I'm scared. Yeah, you are scared. Get scared. It's not going to change. I'm not going to suddenly not be an independent Queen of Swords. Sorry about it. Move along. Okay. What can I do now to avoid this? Two of Wands in reverse. Release the twin flame label. And in case you were like, no, that's not what it means. Here you go. Here's the twin flame. Again. And it's a picture of a feminine with her head in a bird cage. And the Ace of Pentacles. The offer she's waiting for from her twin. And it ain't coming right now because you're holding on to somebody that maybe isn't your twin, isn't meant for you. You're like, oh, but if they were just like this, it would be true that they were meant for me. And to that I have to say, the one that's meant for you is meant for you right now. There's not like, oh, next week he'll be ready, or in 2 days or 3 days or 2 years or 10 years, or if you are ready now, and you don't have any messes you need to clean up. And the divine feminine has been doing really well. She's even being honest with herself about this. Let go of this twin flame label because there's a person that you are holding on to who's being wishy-washy and not communicating with you and is causing you to be in this devil energy stuck where you can't move forward into what you want because you're head is trapping you into this story that you're only going to get what you want from this twin. But then all the time, there's this evidence showing you that twin is not coming forward because you're holding on to them. And then what is growing within me or within this connection as I move on? The Eight of Swords in reverse, no longer protecting yourself from your success anymore by trapping yourself blindly in a mental prison. This is releasing any sort of fears or anxieties that if you let go of this person that you're not going to get what you want. Followed by the Five of Pentacles in reverse and the Nine of Swords, the Nine of Swords. So there's the fear and anxiety of being left out in the cold and always being in separation. And this is a panther that stalks you. This 8 and 9, this progression, this is, you will stop protecting yourself. You're holding on to this person because deep within, I was thinking of the Nine of Wands when I saw this, but I'm pretty sure this is the Swords. The Nine of Wands actually has the panther's eyes are lit up. But the fact that I thought about it made me feel like healing. So there are these wounds that you have that cause this thought process, and you hold the twin in your mind obsessively, and the fact that they don't communicate sets up a state of deprivation. Now, today is the night before the hard launch of my Spiritual Nourishment 1 course, Becoming the Empress. And in that, we talk about, we start with food as the foundation for our intuitive practice, because we need to nourish ourselves. And food is a place where we can start to tune into some of the motivations, the hidden motivations we have for the decisions we make. So that's what the first section focuses on, or the first course focuses on, those 4 principles of intuitive eating over the course of 4 weeks. And it pulls in some tarot and rituals for healing, deep healing, a lot of these old beliefs that we have that prevent us from being really healthy and responding to our body's actual needs. One of the lessons that's very prominent, and I believe it's even in the very first section, it's like the first or second section, but in dieting, the state of deprivation actually creates the overactive cravings for something. So by not talking to you, this divine masculine is keeping you hooked. And I got to tell you something, because I can see it very clearly. He knows that. That's the truth. He only wears this mask of Ursa Major in order that you won't look away. But as long as you keep looking, as long as you keep watching, remember, Lucifer, he's the light bringer. He takes your focus away from the divine and sheds light on the material, all of the pleasures of the flesh. Now, there is light that he brings. But also, by the way, Lucifer was the name of like some, I think it was like a Roman political opponent that the person who was writing the book about, or it was like, like had some kind of influence over the recording of history at that time, decided that the devil's name was Lucifer. But it's literally like a freaking Italian, like old Roman, like political guy who was just like a real douche tool. So we're like, Lucifer, the devil. And this whole time it's just named after a freaking Trump guy. I mean, I probably a century from now we'll start calling the devil Trump too, but literally that's why we call him Lucifer, just so you know. And Lucifer was not an evil demonic name. It literally just meant the light bringer. It was like a lovely name, actually. It had nothing to do with the fallen angel. It just was literally inserted into the story. But the devil is tempting. So the devil is attractive. The devil looks good, but we know that the devil is an illusion. That's the whole thing. So this divine masculine has created a state of deprivation. If I don't say anything at all, I can't fuck it up. Oh, but you can. Because you don't have to say things. Divine Feminine will just fill in the blanks. And not knowing if it's true or not will keep her hooked. So the only way to let go is to embrace that this is an illusion. The things I said to you about what I'm thinking about my masculine, whether those things are true or not, it's an illusion of my ego. There's been no confirmation or denial of those things. And I can't even say that my intuition is telling me, because I'm too mixed up in my ego to be able to distinguish from my intuition or fear in regards to this energy. So if Divine Feminine can fully release her own wishy-washy behavior with letting go of this person, because she realizes this is not my masculine. This is a person pretending he could be my masculine someday. When all I'm learning, when I'm honest with myself, is that that is an illusion created by a masterful performer, I want to tell you. That is an illusion of my happiness, but it will not result in my happiness. Hard lesson, feminine. Ouch. We will go back to your oracles and help you. Now let's rebuild. So remember, we just listened to that and we thought about the person we're focused on probably. And we thought about how we should probably release that person. And all these kind of things kind of went through our head. Now, there is an old version of the person that you are holding that you definitely do need to release. You have to release the old version of them. You can't keep thinking about them as a person who would have another woman sign an NDA so that no one knows that he has another family. I have to let those, that's that illusion, right? But I have to let that version of I can't keep thinking of him that way. When I think of him that way, he fulfills that. So that has to be let go. But now think about this from the person that you're focused on. So now I have to shift, and I have to be like, okay, now my perspective is that this feminine energy I just read is my person's energy, which means they have been wishy-washy about letting someone go, particularly a karmic partner that has had a hold over them, that has kept them under their command. It could have been a soulmate, because we've got this cards associated with soulmate, but it's definitely something that they have been waiting for. And maybe it's their energy is that they are keeping the feminine in the cage, waiting for this, and they have to stop doing that in order for this to move forward. So that's how it works. If you're like, how did that match my person? You have to look for, well, what can it mean for them? It's going to mean exactly what it means for you in a slightly different way, because you're genetically slightly different. Like the twins, right? Okay, so let's now rebuild for the twins using the masculine energy. What does the masculine energy feel needs to be rebuilt right now? Top of the deck is the Knight of Swords. I shit you not. That's 3 times that this card has appeared in a reading with 4 decks. So we've got 3 of the 4 Knight of Swords. This also, by the way, is a swift resolution. A swift resolution. This isn't something that happens real slow. And remember, Divine Feminine's hidden assistance is that this mask that the Divine Masculine is wearing, the masculine, is swiftly coming off. So Divine Masculine wants to rebuild his integrity. He wants to be able to swiftly come in and communicate to his Queen of Wands, who is a mirror for him. So this is the Divine Feminine energy. I think of the Queen of Wands that way usually because she is like the witch energy, the spiritual energy, the magic energy. She has a wand. And she's fiery. This is a Leo energy, very fiery. And fire in general is going to be Sag and Aries and Leo. So big fire sign energy coming from this, with an emphasis on Leo. So the divine masculine wants to swiftly attract the feminine energy back to him. And that Falcon. So he's like, how do I rebuild now? How do I appear in the light of the Knight of Swords, truthful and honest and in my integrity, so that the feminine will pay attention to me? I think it's interesting. I'm seeing here the signs for earth and air, actually. And it says Lord of the winds and breezes. Just looking at these cards have so much symbolism in them. It's the Hermetic Tarot. So the hidden assistance divine masculine has in rebuilding is the Empress and the King of Pentacles, which we saw over here on divine feminine side. So he has a solid financial foundation. He actually is able to step into that Ursa Major energy in terms of being a provider and a protector. The Empress is fertility, abundance, creativity. So whatever he has been creating, whatever he's been working on is actually turning into something very abundant that he can now offer to the one. And that's the other thing. What is also helping him is that this divine feminine that he wants to attract is the one. So for him to be able to attract her is more of a destiny thing and less about what he has to do in the material. But even so, he does seem to be prepared to do something material. Now, remember, if divine feminine is holding on to an old version of the masculine or a person that is not truly a soulmate energy, then he might be ready and prepared to give her something and be blocked from doing it because of her wishy-washy behavior with him. What past experience challenges me in the rebuilding process? We have the Queen of Swords and the Three of Pentacles. Wow. And the Five of Wands in reverse and the Three of Swords in reverse. So this divine masculine has probably had a past partner, a long-term partner, likely a wife, that he was in partnership with. And she's cut off his head here. And he's had to clean up this karmic mess, get rid of that third party energy that he was holding on to, right? Because we're rebuilding now, right? So once he puts up healthy boundaries and cuts out this other energy, and he has had to heal these wounds. Now, what has really challenged him is facing his own role in this entire situation. I also think I'm seeing him feel like divine feminine is unlikely to work with him because of all of the wounds that he has inflicted upon her. What can I do right now to build my confidence? Can't pick up the card up. There we go. That's interesting. Oh, wow. Fortitude, which is literally another Leo card and the card of confidence and strength. And of course, he has to match the confidence of his queen. And the Three of Wands, where we see this feminine looking hand holding onto the wands and seeing this bright light coming from the sun here. Elizabeth just said, how are you supposed to know if it's a soulmate? Because I have never felt this way about anyone else, but it almost seems karmic now. I don't want to hold on to a karmic. Well, okay, here's the thing. Karmic just means that you're learning lessons from that person. And you will feel called to hold on to a karmic just like you will with a soulmate or a twin energy until the lesson is learned. Once you learn the lesson, it's like a switch is flipped with a person who is not your twin. If the person is not your, and listen, I'm not an authority. I'm just repeating what I've heard channeled by others that felt true to me because I've experienced it. So when I first started my twin flame journey, I would say, like where I started to understand or started to learn about the labels or whatever, I was watching these readings because of a past person in my life who is now gone. He was a very big part of my life for about 3 years. And I felt all these strong feelings for him. And I've recently learned something called about something called the twin flame walk-in, which is when you've been in separation for so long with your twin, or the person has passed from the world, their vessel, their physical vessel is gone. The twin flame, which is an energy, not a person. I say it every day, but it's people don't believe me. Twin flame is an energy. It's a divine masculine energy. It's not a specific person. So that mirrored energy will be reflected back to you in certain vessels throughout your life. This is the walk-in theory. There will be one individual that you may associate with this energy very strongly more than anyone else. But there is this phenomenon where if you've been in separation with that person for so long because of free will, and nothing is happening, but you've done all of your work and you've healed all of your wounds, the divine knows that you are prepared and ready to receive an energy to work collaboratively with, because being human is not just about being alone. It's about collaborating and connecting. So if your person is just not budging because of free will, which they have, then the divine will pluck the energy from them and pass it to someone in order to get you to learn the lesson that you need to learn so that you can finally come into a long-term commitment or partnership with a soulmate. Now, when you experience this, it'll seem like the person that you are now focused on is like weirdly like your twin. There'll be all these parallels and you're like, oh my God, maybe I got this wrong. Maybe this is actually who I'm supposed to be focused on, or this is my true soulmate. And the only reason that I was focused on the other person I associate with my twin is so that I would learn about this person. Okay. So that's sort of what happened to me. This person that was in my life started to look strangely similar to a person that I had held on to for a long time, my twin. And I started listening to readings on YouTube that talked about twin flame. I'd never heard about it before. And I was like, oh my God, this makes sense. But there would always be something in the readings just a little off. It would be kind of a big thing. And I would be like, oh, well, that's something that doesn't resonate. But then when I started to think about it, I was like, actually, if this were about my twin and not this other person, this would actually be true. Which is what first started to clue me into this twin and finally having an explanation for who he was. As soon as I learned that lesson, that person who I was mistaken, my false twin, peaced out forever. And I mean forever, in a way that meant that I could never reconnect with them because they did something so reprehensible. I forgave them, but I know they will never forgive themselves. So bye. I don't think I'm ever going to hear from that person again. And I don't want to. I don't think about them that much. They don't occur to me. It's like any other relationship that I've had where I really felt a lot for somebody, didn't work out, and they went away, and I was able to be like, okay, I can move on. The only person I have not been able to do that with is the person that I would consider now my twin. Although I am in the same place with you where I'm like, my twin is acting like a karmic and doesn't seem to be healing. So this is when I heard about the twin flame walk-in thing, where if your person that is your twin resists so much that energy will be taken from them and it will be put into someone else so that I can have my rewards, so that I can experience my fulfillment, even though this person cannot do it in this life. So if you're holding on to somebody that is falling in line with what I'm talking about right here, that is not communicating and not showing up at all, that is likely a person who has had the masculine energy taken from them right now. Or if it's like I said, if there's always one little thing that you can't quite get it to fit, it might be that this person is just someone you're supposed to learn your twin flame journey from. And it's not actually a person who you should focus on. And how can I answer whether or not you should focus on this soulmate at all? If this person isn't talking to you, don't focus on them. Period. And if you have a hard time with that, that's okay. Manage it like an addiction, because that's what it is. They have hooked you by not letting you know yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. Fuck that. That's not a soulmate. That is a person who is stuck in a cycle that will not end until you end it. Because you are stuck in the cycle with them and you know what's going on. They might not know why they do it. They might be, I don't know why I do this. I don't know why I do it. Cool. Go figure it out. Because I did the work. Feminine did the work. Feminine has taken the time to fucking figure it out. So go do it. I hope that helps. All right. What does the masculine energy need in order to feel confident? He needs confidence. I love when the universe says that. What does he need to feel confident? Well, he just needs to. What he needs to be confident about is that this Three of Wands energy, there is patience here. The divine feminine is waiting for the fulfillment of her joy, what will make her happy, what will expand her. She is not going to go into any other relationship that doesn't give her this, that she can't see the ships on the horizon. So masculine can soothe himself by knowing that he can confidently fulfill this role as long as he intends to reflect back the same willingness to have faith in the connection, because this is a card about faith. So the divine feminine is waiting. Now, we just looked at her side and it's possible that she's like not going to be waiting for a specific person anymore. That's fine. The feminine cannot wait for a specific person. But what she's waiting for is someone who truly deserves her energy. So if she's waiting for somebody who truly deserves her energy, then divine masculine, when you get control of your ego and cultivate your own feminine energy that starts to counter your ego's desires, etc., then you can be the ship coming in. That will just have to, you'll just have to be confident about it. Divine feminine is not going to get in the boat with any karmics anymore. That's not, she's going to be able to tell whether a person hits her red flags or not. Like that's literally, you can have, so one of my red flags is addiction. Okay. Now I have addiction. So my red flag isn't this person has an addiction, I can't be with them. My red flag is this person has no awareness of their addiction. They don't know about it. It is hidden. It is secret. It is something they won't tell me or talk to me about. And it is obvious to me and everyone else, but they are not aware of it. That suggests an unhealthy relationship with addictive behaviors. It's a denial, and they'll continue to use the addiction to numb and deny in other ways. The person that I've been seeing who is in communication with me, that person looked me deeply in the eye with a foolish grin on their face and said, I'm an alcoholic, babe. And I was like, I know you are. I grew up with many of them in my life. Now, my super sensitive, shadowy, overprotective Queen of Swords energy might have cut him out after that and been like, oh, he said he had an addiction. But I thought about it and I was like, no, he said he had an addiction. And it is clearly something that he wants to work on based on how he said it and all the other conversations we had. So my red flag for this person now, I actually, it's more of a pink flag. It's more of a caution. It's faded a little bit in its severity. And I had to use my discernment to establish that. Okay. So Divine Feminine has got a list in her head of things that are very important to her. And if a person shows up and they're lacking in those areas, she doesn't let them get in her boat. So Divine Masculine, you can feel confident about it. She's going to wait. Maybe she's not waiting on you right now, but she's going to wait for somebody who shows up and is in their boldest, most daring, and most confident state. So as he does achieve this confidence, he can do that. He can be the person who shows up. What possible future challenges could arise? We have the Lovers and the Hanged Man and the Five of Swords. So Divine Masculine might be tempted to make this love that he has in his life wait until he's fully cleaned up and walked away from the third party that has been involved. So what can challenge the masculine is that he may need time to clean up from past lovers that he's experienced energy with. And again, if like the person that I was talking about who has an addiction may need to clean up the wounds that cause him to be in an addictive energy, to numb out and not process his feelings. And there might be time that the masculine needs to think about love and what he's done and how he can improve and manifest the union. And he could potentially get caught up by his thoughts about it again, causing him to stay in suspension rather than going forward and actually coming into union. So that could be a challenge for him to overcome. What past behaviors have destabilized me? The Last Judgment and the Three of Cups in reverse. And in this deck, there are two versions of this card, and this is the old version. So Divine Masculine's old behaviors with having a lot of sexual energy, partying energy with others, with this can be with a lot of female partners, I'm feeling. It can also be like the drinking too, because we see that come up a lot, just actually alcoholism again, but judging himself for this and not like letting this go. This is the past card, but it's still coming up in his head space, or his heart space rather. So he still feels badly about what he's done, because he can see the pain and the anger that it causes. And he knows that it's justifiable. He knows that the way the feminine feels is just. And this makes him feel really unstable in regards to her. What can I do now to avoid this and stabilize? Queen of Pentacles and the Sun. Just make the fuck up with her. Actually allow yourself to have this joy with her. Make her the Queen of Pentacles is like the wife card, and we already got the Empress. Like, this is abundant, nurturing, protective energy. And like, if you are nurturing and of your own joy, then this will stay. And also knowing that the Divine Feminine is a stable individual, that she is loving and caring and nurturing and protective. And that, you know, she might experience disappointment with you. She might experience feelings that you have done things that were not just or right. But that doesn't mean that she then withdraws her love. Like, a mother never withdraws her love, like from her child, no matter the transgression. Like that's sort of the nature of that divine mother energy. So divine masculine must also have this energy within him. He must have a desire to care, nurture, and protect the joy that he wants to bring to this feminine. What future prospects do I have to look forward to once I rebuild and stabilize? The Eight of Pentacles, the Lord of Prudence, it says, and the Seven of Swords. So this is doing the work that you need to do. And we see here a feminine energy in the Seven of Swords. So feminine, this is like the masculine thinking that the feminine will cheat on him, or that she's got like an exit strategy, or it can also be about wanting to surprise the feminine with something that he's created. But it's about working on the fears he has about the feminine getting away from him, leaving him, holding that truth she has about him and packing up and hauling out. It's like working on those fears and finally getting rid of them, and actually surprising the feminine with a real strategy for material investment in their connection. Really strong and stable one, actually. All right, now let's go to the oracles. We're going to go back over to divine feminine. Since this is release and rebuild, I did an open and a closing of a door. So we're going to look at the door that is closed as something that needs to be opened. So this is what is needing to be released. Divine feminine is getting the Four of Pentacles. And this is her feeling that she has all these, she's big, right? She's very big, very large, and she has to shrink herself down to fit through this door, to fit in. I always think of this card as fitting in. There is some part of her also, the Four of Pentacles. Remember, we saw this as her hidden assistance. This is a letting go or holding on to something energy. And we also know that what she needs to release right now is this wishy-washy behavior that is causing her to hold on to a desire that is destabilizing her ability to come into a stable union. So divine feminine needs to release her hold on making this person fit the twin label or the soulmate label. And what will help her release this obstacle is that 10 of Cups that we saw over here in reverse, because it was all about this couple clinging. And look, the feminine is focused, like it's her that's clinging to this masculine. He's just touching her chin here. She's like got this clinging sort of an energy, and he's blindfolded also. They both are blind. Love is blind kind of a feeling. So releasing this clinging energy and instead seeing this sacred union celebration. So redefining what makes you happy, redefining this partner, like not the one you're clinging to, but maybe this identity of this person is shifting or changing, or maybe the necessity for having this person, the person that you've been holding on to in your life, and no more trying to fit that into your picture of your happiness, but rather letting the person that you focus on, or insisting that the person that you focus on already fit the picture of your happiness, not fit it somewhere down the line. To help you today, we are getting Saint Dymphna. This will be who will help you. And I think it's interesting because she helps guide emotions. And the 10 of Cups, of course, is a very emotional card. So she's going to help you navigate the difficult emotions that you will experience and fully letting go and fully relinquishing this picture of your happiness so that you can see a new way, because you're stuck in this old way of thinking and it's really time to shift. And the only way you can do that is to let go of the old story about this person. And usually we can't let go of an old story without letting go of that person for a while. So just commit to that. Just be like, until I see this person at my doorstep, calling me on my phone, communicating directly with me, even if I guess internet messages are fine, but come on, like, you can't come over. Until I see that person, give me a reason to love them. Give me a reason to love you, right? I'm so tired of playing with this bow and arrow. Gonna give my heart away. Leave it for the other girls to play. Okay? Divine Feminine's sick of that. She's sick of that. So when you get a reason to hold on to somebody, by all means. But if you can't Gmail me a reason that I would be like, that's a good reason to wait. That's a great reason to wait for this person. If you can't tell me and know that I'm going to be like, totally, I stand behind that. Great choice. Don't be waiting. The person I'm focused on that told me they were an alcoholic, that person is going to be gone for 2 months for their job, traveling, and to tie up loose ends. I know that person is doing that, and I know what that person's intentions are. That might be a good reason for me to hold out for that person. But even that is not that tempting to me, because I've learned my lesson with my twin. It's like, my twin wanted to clean up his messes too. He started doing that in 2013, 14. So again, should I hold on to somebody who's not ready? The person I'm going to hold on to is the person who's going to say, Happy New Year's, babe. That's what I'm going to hold on to. Say it to me. Say it. If there's no one in my DMs tomorrow saying Happy New Year's, babe, to me, I ain't holding on to you. That's how I'm going to do it. Divine Feminine, here are the 2 things that will help you the most right now. I speak positively of others, which was difficult for me to do today about my masculine energy, and I embrace that. And I converse with awareness. Both of these things are so important. The way I talked about my masculine today. Now, I talked about that twin energy because I wanted to show you how my ego is obsessively thinking shit about them. If I take those things I said about him and call every single one of my friends today and say, do you know what I think that my twin is doing? He's doing X, Y, and Z. What a dick. I can't believe it. Okay. That is the reality I'm creating. I'm aware of that. I don't have an intention of feeding a lot of detail into that story that I just revealed to you. It's a very vulnerable story that I have made up, and I don't know if it's true or not. And part of me thinks it is, and part of me is like, you're crazy. And I could call every single person and talk to them about it and analyze it and try to find it out if it was real or not. But I know that that is more of this. Because in truth, I don't know anything that's happening because there is no communication from that twin. So when I do communicate to my friends today, I'm going to communicate with awareness. If I want to talk about my twin, I'm only going to say things I want to be true. If I can't say anything nice, I'm not going to say anything nice at all. And I think you should practice that, because when you say nasty things, that's an energy that you are holding on to. You're holding on to a person in order to feel nasty. If you don't think about the person, there's no nastiness. And then you're spreading it and creating more of it. So zip it. Okay, here are your affirmations that you might want to say this week. I will hold this up so that you can take a screenshot. I think it's not backwards. I think YouTube flips it around. I don't know. Anyway, it says, I use my breath to bring inner peace and calm. I communicate in a way that honors both myself and others. There are a lot of affirmations cards in this deck, so very significant that you got that. So you're using your breath, you're using your words to bring inner peace and calm. And look who's coming in here, the Lord of the winds and breezes. And this truth is going to bring you calm. You're finally going to know. Listen, when I know the truth, even if the truth is ugly, I'm going to breathe a sigh of relief. I then might react to the ugly truth after that, but I'm just going to be like, at least I know. I mean, the person that told me they were an alcoholic, they also told me they had 3 people to get rid of. They didn't keep any secrets from me. They didn't hide. And so I wasn't sitting there being like, I wonder why this person isn't moving forward into a relationship with me. I wonder why. Is it because of me? Is it because of them? Is it because of this? Is it because of the other thing? I know exactly why that person isn't ready for me. They told me. And I'm sure it was hard and difficult. They had to be drunk to do it. They had to try to make it kind of cute and funny. And they did it in front of everybody. They literally took accountability in front of everybody in the room. I was like shocked by this. That is something I would do. That is a very strong reflection of my energy. And I appreciated that. Very lovely mirror, which was a positive mirror that showed me 1111, that they were able to communicate that was bothering them and that they didn't want to keep hiding it from me. And as soon as it was told, what did they learn? I didn't go anywhere. I didn't jump into a relationship with them, but I didn't leave because I still love them. They're still my friend and I still have grown to enjoy their company, and I don't want to leave them just because they can't be my romantic partner. I don't need them to be my romantic partner right now when they are not ready, and I didn't need them to go away because they weren't. And that's not necessarily something I've always been able to do. So that was a real mastery for me. So use your breath to bring inner peace and calm. Communicate in a way that honors both myself and others. I have the courage within me to face my fears and open myself to experience new ways of being. Wow. These are powerful affirmations. I'm going to write them down after this. My heart is open and filled with love. May I realize my potential, my gifts, and my passion. So good. Okay. That's your daily affirmations for this week, Divine Feminine, to help you release this masculine energy. And you are getting the Tree of Life conception. And this is the Tree of Life is very interesting that most of the time when we see the Tree of Life, we see it in its magnificence. We see like the whole tree. And instead we're seeing the seed and the first sprouting of this new life. This is your shamanic medicine that you need right now. Nothing can grow, no person, plant, or idea, if it is not properly nourished. From the moment an idea is conceived, it is vital you nurture it so it can come to fruition. If you are thinking about having or extending a family, be sure you are doing so for the right reasons. Calling a divine being into this world is a big responsibility. If you have an amazing idea, then research, prepare, and be ready to see it through. All additions to our lives bring forth challenges and change, but also offer important spiritual connections. We all have roots that are seated in our past lives and branches that stretch out into our future possibilities. How you tend to your tree affects what it produces, either a healthy apple or spoiled fruit. A dying tree, weak at the roots or bereft of foliage, means a compromised connection to the source of all life, as well as to your inner wisdom. From such a place, very little stands a chance of being given life. That's profound to me. A dying tree, weak at the roots or bereft of foliage, means a compromised connection to the source of all life. If the person you are focused on right now is weak at their roots or bereft of fruit, positive fruit, then that connection is compromised. Solid preparation is key to your success. Take responsibility for your actions. A new idea needs careful planning and consideration. See a project through from start to finish. A challenge is a blessing in disguise. A decision needs to be made. It is time to reinvent yourself. Coming out with the 10 of Cups as the thing that will help you, that's about really getting down to what makes you happy. It's interesting because I actually wrote today in my morning pages And I envisioned my future, and I envisioned my future with my family members and some of my friends being a part, because I'm basically, my dream now is to build the Center for Intuitive Arts and Sciences and have like a Hogwarts, basically. That's what I want to do. So I need a location, and it's got to be a big piece of land, and enough to expand and grow and have like multiple buildings, etc. And I started writing about that today, and I realized that this is the first time that I can remember that my future didn't include this twin, and I didn't exclude this twin. I just didn't make it about that person. If that person wants to be there when I'm doing that, chill. But it wasn't a major part of my vision. And it really helped me to understand that there are things that are much more fulfilling to me than whether or not that person who has been acting shady as fuck ever gives a thought to me. And that honestly shocked me. So reinvent yourself and your vision of your future. And it might not happen today. If somebody told me to do that a week ago, I would have been like, I can't. So don't worry about it. It's probably going to happen somewhat naturally. Honestly, this person you're focused on is probably going to be such a fucking shit and not talk for long enough that you won't be able to stand it anymore. And you'll just build your life without them. So if that helps you to know that your hidden assistance is that you can't, that there's no way you're not going to embrace this truth and let him go. You are going to. That's what your hidden assistance is. As you acknowledge the truth about how this person is really the thing that blocks you so much, you'll be able to move on. From first small seed to mighty tree, be sure to learn from all you see. Keep roots healthy and leaves in light. Enlightenment awaits joy in sight. All right. Now, I'm not saying that your person can't transform, but I'm saying that if they are not here now and they are not communicating and there is no sign of transformation, and you've got places to go and people to see, then go to those places and see those people. Your theme for this week is the 8 of Wands. I shit you not. It says swiftness on it. This is a card of communication. So if you aren't hearing from someone that you want to hear from, ask yourself if there's anybody in your life, not your person. Just don't think about your person. Try not to think about your person as much as possible. But try to think if there's somebody in your life that you have not communicated with because you feared the outcome of the conversation. You fear what they will think, whether or not they want to talk to you, whether it will do any good to talk to them, whether, just try to think of somebody that you've been out of communication with and somebody that is, maybe was really important to you at one point in time and you just grew apart and you've been holding back from communicating. Maybe they pop into your head and you're like, I wonder what they're doing, but you don't communicate because you're afraid. You might want to try reaching out to that person, because when we do something that we're waiting for, we'll see that counteraction. Okay, Divine Masculine, let's dig in. Oh God, I'm so exhausted by this. It's really, really exhausting me. Divine Masculine, what do you need to release? The 3 of Cups. These are women that are undressing. These are naked women. You have consistently had a third-party energy in this dynamic. And it's been your career or other bitches or drinking and partying or everything, all of the things that I'm saying. And you have hidden it. And so what will help you rebuild is this 10 of Wands, communication. And look, this is so interesting. We see this Fool. And there is an invisible door that's blocking him from coming out. And we see his child looking up at him. And this foolish man thinks that he's hidden, that he's staying here in this building, and it's protecting him from being exposed to the world for what he is like and what he does and how he comports himself. Comparts? I'm mixing two words, I think. And what will help rebuild is by recognizing that this is the state that he has been in. He has carried this responsibility or burden, most likely because he didn't want family members or something to think badly or poorly of him or the divine feminine. But he's actually completely exposed and looking so ridiculous in his energy of trying to hide. He looks so much worse. It's so much worse. I literally got in my stories and was like, to the person who is watching my stories and pretending that I can't see them, I can see you. And since you respond to my stories in your own way, in your stories or in your whatever means you've decided to do that or whatever, since I know that you see them, the fact that you wear a mask in order to look at me is the biggest turnoff of my life. Literally dry as a husk here for you, masculine, with this energy. Ugh. And so I don't do this anymore either. I have really cut back from private account viewing. It's like, bitch, I'll go right on there. If I'm going to be fool enough to look at my divine masculine not communicating to my ass, I'm going to show him that I'm fool enough to do that. I'm not going to try to hide that from myself or pretend or not be honest with myself about how I try to protect myself from him knowing how pathetic it is that I still look at his bullshit. I way more courage than my masculine ever dreamed of. And that's why he needs it. And you can't get it from me. You got to have courage to come to me. Like, I've also embraced that 11:22 on the clock, 1:22 on the clock. I used to think to myself, oh, I'm so intimidating. Like, men don't like me because I'm smart and I can do shit they can do and they're intimidated. You know what? Fuck every single one of those men who would be intimidated by that with their tiny little dicks. Fuck every one of them. If you're too scared to come talk to me, don't ever come talk to me then until you grow a pair. That's literally what I said. Grow a pair. And see, I'm not talking nicely right now, so I'm not doing that conversing nicely thing, but I'm still heated. I'm still the fucking Queen of Wands because I'm like, bitch, close this door on this bullshit. You just look so stupid. It's just like, you're dumb. Like, that looks dumb to me. That looks like, I can't stop watching you. I can't do anything about it. God damn it. It's so annoying. St. Catherine is here to help you with your commitment issues, divine masculine. You with your third party bullshit. My ego will not go away. I'm so sorry. I love when my ego comes out though, because then you can all see, like, this is what happens. Like, this is like, my ego right now is blocking me from coming into union with the person I'm thinking about. But my intellect right now is telling me, good. You don't want to come into a person with these kind of issues. Let that person work out their issues. Work out your own issues. Like, get it from someone who's healed and whole right now. Be mad. Like, don't accept that type of behavior. But this card is a real problem for the masculine. He probably has had a past marriage or marriages. He could have a past partner, third-party partner that's a problem. And just his general, and all of those things are just a way for him to not be in a commitment with the feminine. So he just has commitment issues. I now realize that my masculine was probably cheating on his wife like the whole time. Like, I mean, if he was already like writing me music and shit. So this masculine doesn't do commitment. Like, I do commitment. Okay. That's what I'm saying to myself. I keep the commitments to myself. I do commitments. Divine masculine. You also got affirmations. That's cute. Here is what you need that will help you. I am open to love in various forms. So it's funny because this makes me want to laugh. Like, bitch is open to love in various forms. Did you see all the fucking naked Three of Cups all over the goddamn place? But the fact is that masculine was not open to love at all. That's why he had a bunch of insignificant, shallow sexual energy, because he wasn't open to love even a little bit. That's having sex with a bunch of people is I am not open to love. I am not open to love. I am not open to commitment. I am not open to fully experiencing sacred sexual union. I am closed off. I am afraid of it. I am seeking gratification. I am using other people's bodies to serve my needs. They are using my body to serve their needs. It is purely transactional. It is not love. So the divine masculine has to open to love in its various forms, not just sex. Affirmations for the masculine. Oh, also, I'll leave that in case you want to get a screenshot. I don't know if it's backwards or not. I love that. Okay. I trust my intuition and my higher self. I take time to be quiet and listen within. I am aware of healthy boundaries as I connect with others. Oh, please, please be aware of healthy boundaries, because you know what? Watching someone's story from a private account is not a healthy boundary. That's violating my boundary. That is stalking me. You know who else stalked me? My childhood sexual predator from the age of 4 years old. Yes, that's shocking and horrific. My divine masculine is acting like my childhood sexual predator. Very triggering for me. If you want to see me and talk to me and you're not seeing me and talk to me, that means you're in shadow. I am a light being. Step away. I thrive as I learn to provide more loving care for my body, mind, and spirit. Today, I will live my life to the fullest. So those are the affirmations for the masculine energy: trusting your intuition, taking time to listen, being aware of healthy boundaries, thriving as you provide more loving care for your body, your mind, and your spirit, and living your life to the fullest. Beautiful. Your shamanic medicine is the energy of the south, or abundance. It's also that sun energy, and the black and white penguins, very much of a balancing energy for me. Sunshine, love, and laughter are sometimes all you need and all you crave. When they come to you in plentiful supply, it is time to enjoy. Good financial fortune, your dream job, or your dream partner may be heading your way. Anything is possible when the passion for life burns so brightly within. You will be seen in the best possible light by those around you. Niggling aches and pains will fade. This card denotes a time of plenty, so take all you need from it. Be sure to take only what you need, as overindulging or greed can quickly flip the good times you are having to the opposite pole. Take care of the material gains that come your way. Be generous, give away surplus, or put funds aside for the future. You are being urged to think ahead so that you can manage better in leaner times. Remember, others will be attracted to your riches. Be wary of those who promise you the world for a share in your spoils, as they seldom deliver. Your tomorrows will be provided for. Hard work pays off. Time to reap the rewards. You have the Midas touch right now. Something is yours for the taking. The South speaks and says, ignite your passion. Let it grow. So much waits for you to know. All your needs could now be met. 'Tis only greed that poses a threat. That's got a 9 of Cups energy for me. And it's interesting because I did an Amenti Oracle card today, and I posted it on my Instagram account. The link's below if you don't follow me there. But I decided I'm going to start posting like a daily Oracle with just a little message and a song. And I did that today, and it was, I consume only my fair share. So this message is coming up again. Having multiple partners, drinking a lot, partying, that's not consuming your fair share. That's a greedy, hoarding, selfish energy, and that needs to be released from the masculine side of self. And finally, the Two of Wands is your theme this week, Dominion. I've never gotten this card from the Thoth Tarot before. It's a very interesting card. It says Dominion because the individual in the Two of Wands is holding his world in his hand as he gazes out on the horizon, looking to see the ships that will come in the Three of Wands. He can't see it yet, but he's asked that he can have this dominion over his world. And he might be planning and strategizing how to do it, but most of those plans and strategies are sort of irrelevant because at this point, the universe is going to take over and he will have to have faith in this as he arrives at the Three of Wands. There is a boldness and an aggression and a daring energy that does come from the Two of Wands because it is bold to ask for the world and believe that you can receive it. And this is, of course, associated with twin flame energy. And we got two twin flame cards right in the same position for the feminine. And then having that Two of Wands here again is pretty significant. So the divine masculine needs to boldly assert the twin flame dynamic because divine feminine is boldly leaving that dynamic behind. All right, let's now we're going to do, wow, it's an hour and 30 minutes. We're going to do the oracle cards, and then I'm going to do my favorite part now, which is the going general part. I have found that incredibly helpful for my energetic work. Let me know if you're finding it helpful, but knowing how to go general about it, when I start to think about like, oh, will I reunite? I'll be like, nope, don't think about that. What did the reading say to think about today? It said to think about like a time in your life when a friend had like called you out of the blue and you went right back into a good dynamic with them and everything was fine. So that's really helping me. So I'm gonna close out the reading with that. But first, let's go ahead and do the oracles. Please go to pearlsprayers.com /member. The link is below to see all of it's kind of almost like a Linktree page. It kind of shows you this is the top things people look for on the site. And then, of course, you can explore the whole site if you want to. But that will show you the Nourishment course, how to become a member, the Tell Me Everything spreads, where they are. And in the YouTube description box for today, I put the description of how to join the Spiritual Nourishment program. The steps are below. It's a little silly. You got to click a few times and kind of go back and forth a couple times. It's silly, but it's written there so you can join. We are going to start. It is a self-directed course. So you can start anytime that you want to, but myself and Ash, who co-authored the course together, we're actually going to start it on the 1st with the first group of people who already purchased it during this period. It is still half off, by the way. Well, technically it's $55, but you can split it with a buddy so that it's only half price for you, or you can give it as a gift to somebody if you want to, so that you can work with someone else while you're doing the program. But we're going to start tomorrow fresh with everybody. We'll be on the group there communicating. So if you're interested in that, all the details are below. You can, of course, book personal readings and see all my music there as well. Okay, thank you so much. Let us continue on now. Oh, please click support if you just want to send a gratuity as well. I do live off of the gratuities I receive. Oh my God. So not surprised. Okay. Divine Feminine, what do you need to release? The Six of Cups. And look, it's an elderly woman telling a story. Here is you telling an old story. And you need to no longer tell this old story. So either there's a person in your book that you keep telling everybody about, or there is a way that that person behaves that you keep talking about to your YouTube followers. And granted, it is my job to try to explain to you how these energies intersect with reality. So an unfortunate part of my job is that I tend to keep myself in separation. Now, this is something I want you to think about really, it's really important, because my job apparently is to be a reader of the divine masculine and feminine energy. I have chosen to do this, I guess, And I currently choose to do this on a relatively daily basis. So I look at the energy every single day for the most part. On Tuesdays, I don't read it, but I do listen to it. So still looking at the energy. I'm addicted to it. That's my addiction. Why? Because I'm in no communication with my masculine energy. Okay, cool. Glad we cleared that up. So my job is to actually tell the story of the divine masculine feminine every day. And I have to tell that story in order to educate the people who have inner children that need healing. I almost feel tears coming up. Because I'm recognizing the sacrifice I make. I do it willingly because everything I have learned on the journey has helped me to pursue my dreams and passions, to be open to abundance and human connection. And I do believe that I am receiving a lot of powerful things. But I also know that to a certain extent, I'm sacrificing union because I have to focus on the energy of separation in order to help you come into union. So I actually do block myself from coming into my own union by helping others. And I'm having a moment where I'm like, that might be my job. And you know what? If it is, it's okay because I have so much connection and love coming from the people who I help and companionship and all kinds of things that I'll be okay. But you don't have to do that job. You don't have to come and sit here every day and listen to this story. I mean, I hope that I tell the story in a way that helps you figure out where you need to shift, and then eventually you don't have to come here because you've shifted your energy and it's not your job to listen to the story. But if you're watching TikTok after TikTok after TikTok after TikTok and YouTube after YouTube after YouTube after YouTube, reading, and you're not doing anything else, and you're talking to your friends about the story, and then you will be sitting here until you are ancient telling the story right next to me. How? How do I stop telling this story? If you saw the tell me or the obstacles removed spread, was it obstacles removed? I think it was obstacles removed. Then we saw this come out for the masculine. And it's actually interesting because I don't do reversals in this deck. I keep these cards upright. All of them are upright in this deck. And the fact that this one came out reversed, very interesting to me. Because this is it's the knave or the page of swords, and it is the card about a creepy pedophile that is stalking you. And it's about, I think, two things: allowing the masculine to do this. There's a way to prevent this from happening. You can go to your Instagram account and you can set it to private. Once I do that, my masculine can't use the bot accounts he's been using to watch my stories. He has to actually follow me. He'll have to do a catfish account profile then. But he would have to actually follow me and actually be my friend. And so you might consider that. Feminine, you might go to your social profiles and you might make it you don't have to block the person. I mean, you can if that will help you, but I don't think blocking is so much. It's like you will put the person in a situation where they have to be a king of swords in order to look at you. And if they're not in their king of swords energy or a knight of swords energy, if they're not, it'd be great if they're king. If they're not in their knight of swords energy, then they can't see you. And if they can't see you, you shouldn't see them. And if you don't look at them and you don't look at what they're doing, then you can't keep telling the story. And this also means that you should probably stop checking in on the readings and the energy in the readings. And just go about your day, go about your business, go about your whole world as if the most amazing, wonderful person who matches you and wants to do what you do and be you be and have what you have and all those things are in alignment, just go about your business as if that person is on their way. If you keep looking at this person who's not coming, that's all that you're going to see. And you're just going to keep reading that same story. So this is for both of you right now also. So you have to stop telling the story. And in order to stop telling the story, you have to stop being a creep. Right now, that's how my masculine feels to me. He just feels like a creep. That's not sexy. Mother Mary is back again. There's this nurturing energy here, the divine mother, the protective energy that is coming from Mary. Also purity. This is somebody who, is seen in the Catholic rhetoric as somebody who maintained chastity throughout her entire life, which is just so silly because Jesus had siblings. They even talk about them in the Bible. And then they're like, oh, it wasn't really a sibling. It was just a cousin that they called. And I'm like, bitch, don't take away Mary's ability to have sex. Bitch was married to Joseph. Excuse me. But the rhetoric about Mary is that she remains this pure vessel, for her entire existence. But we all know that's bullshit. But the purity that is there is implied, that blue, the purity, and pure intentions and devotion, because Mary was devoted to Jesus. Very powerful. I do good. This is believing that you can do good. Even when you may have caused pain by some of the words you spoke or didn't speak, you have a desire to gain enlightenment and correct the mistakes that you've made. You have the desire to do good. Wow. This came up yesterday for the Tell Me Everything, and I think it's significant that it's coming up for the end. It is crown chakra. This is the daily practice if you want the screenshot. And I'm going to read it to you right now. This is for both twins. It says, allow yourself to become comfortable and quiet. So let's just do that right now. Ask for guidance and assistance in reaching your highest potential. So please guide me and assist me in reaching my highest potential. Sense a divine light flowing into you, entering the top of your head and continuing down through your body. Feel yourself grounded and connected to the earth. Sense the light flowing up from the earth as well. What color is the light? So that is something you want to try to do in your daily practice. And maybe when you're doing that, you're experiencing your connection to the divine so profoundly that you're feeling that fulfillment that comes from not being alone. Wow. This is coming up. This has come up before. It's the lower energy, and it says the past, or it's the lower world, and it says the past. I just opened right to it. And this is to the twins, both of you. You both have avoided the lower world and your own past out of fear and misperception. This is not a place of hellish darkness, but somewhere that must be explored if you wish to become acquainted with the oldest part of your soul and move beyond the things that hold you back. Your thoughts and ideas are imprinted in the lower world, and once there, you can access the roots of your innermost feelings. The lower world cards invites you to retrieve your lost power. Hear the rattles shake and the drums beat. and dance your way to the trunk of the cosmic world tree. Seek guidance from the ancestors and the nature spirits that reside here. Lower world grants access to nature's secrets, for this is where the elemental kingdom can be encountered. From here, wisdom and power can be brought forward into life to correct the wrongs or heal the wounds of the past. Your totem animals will accompany you as you descend into the past and discover where your power lies and how they can help you in the here and now. You have been avoiding the dark aspects of your psyche. Embrace your shadow in order to know thyself fully. Face the fears that stem from past lives by connecting with the earth and the lower worlds. Darkness sheds light on that which is hidden. Journey down into the deep, accessed through trance or induced sleep. Ancestors, spirits wait for you. Darkness highlights what is true. So you're needing to do some subconscious regression, probably subconscious reprogramming type work, meditation, asking to be shown these pieces of you that are still stuck in your craw, not letting you fully let go and move on so that you can actually have what you're asking for. And then, wow. Your theme is the Three of Cups. This is the fourth time we've gotten this card, I believe. And this is a card when it is upright and about union. It is about reunion and celebration and being lighthearted and taking things less seriously. But this card is encompassing all of the messages that came from from Three of Cups from the masculine side, which was about too much partying, too much, too many lovers, too many partners. So divine masculine needs to move into a place where he's consuming only his fair share. Divine feminine needs to move into a place where she believes that she can have a cause for celebration and maybe that she can date and see other people, because the people that she keeps choosing are avoidant and don't prioritize her. I did this thing, which I didn't post it, but it made me feel really good and I sent it to my friend. I took a bunch of screenshots of all the times when my divine masculine focuses on other women, strangers, when he goes to parties, and I took all this is what I did yesterday when I had like 20 minutes of free time. I took all those pictures. I made a reel. I put the song Priorities to it, and I wrote on the reel, "I'm so glad to see you prioritizing." And then I sent that to my friend and I was like, "Hey, I've been watching this on repeat every time I think about this person so that I can remind myself that because I chose days, it's literally almost every incident, every picture of him came out on a day when he had been like, oh, I love you, I want to do anything for you, or I need you, or this or that or the other thing." And I was like, yep, each one of the days when he was like, "You're my biggest priority and you're my whole world and you're everything I want." No, what was he doing? Reading poems that someone else wrote for her, like getting pictures with her, embracing her, going to parties and embracing other people. Even screenshots of him writing random messages from his Instagram account to people. I literally put it all in there. I was like, this is the person you focus on, and this is what they focus on. And then I went back through my phone and I was like, well, let me see. Do I have a ton of pictures of me? Like, there's not a single picture of me with a masculine energy or a feminine energy that I'm pursuing in any kind of a way. Not one. There's nothing like that, because I didn't do that. So it was just an interesting experience to be like, why am I prioritizing this person? This person is just going out and partying and doing all this fucking shit. And I've been like in pain and suffering. All right, what are we thinking about over and over and over again? We can't stop thinking about it. What should we think about in order to heal it and how do we go general in order to accomplish this? All right, let's start with the feminine energy. Divine feminine. This is what has been stuck for you. Look at this fiery heart. I'm definitely on fire today. Like even my face feels hot and I don't have a fever. This says insane chemistry, liking each other equally and having fun. All right. So for some, there might be somebody who you're having a lot of chemistry with right now and you can't stop thinking about them. For others, this is just this passionate hold over you that this masculine energy seems to have. For some, there might be somebody that you feel you like each other equally and they're like a lot of fun. And you've been trying to decide, like, is this just like, you know, like, is it just chemistry and like a physical thing, or is it going to be more than that? And like, should I take it there? And also it might be like, I don't have fun. I don't have sexual energy. It could be that too, but it's something you just keep thinking about this over and over. What should you think about instead? Or what will help you break through this place where you're just focused on the chemistry and liking each other equally? Taking a chance, risk, being strategic, options, not showing hand, and gambling. There's the Ace of Swords. That's truth. So being honest with yourself, there might be somebody you have chemistry with. There might be somebody that you think you could have fun with or would be fun. Maybe there's somebody that you like, you feel like, whoa, I think we like each other equally. Go for it. Take a chance. Like, go ahead. Be honest about the situation. That's what I've done with this other person I'm seeing. It's like, I have fun with them. I let that be true. And I just take the risk. And you know what? Every time I've taken a risk with this person, they've always shown up for me. If I said something I was afraid of, they said, oh, don't let that fear stop you. Like, don't be worried about that. If I was like, oh, I'm annoying you, they're like, look, I'm going to annoy you. You're going to annoy me. We're going to be friends forever. Like, they keep giving me security when I take a risk and tell them something or communicate something to them. They keep reinforcing that we actually do have chemistry. We like each other equally and we do have a lot of fun. So I just need to stop thinking and worrying about it and just be like, no, this person is worth taking a chance on. So what will help me? What will help me do that is going general about this card right here, which says the snake. And it says competition, enemy, clever, malicious, look over your shoulder, and the other woman. And it was in reverse. So I want you to think about the times in the past, sometime in the past, when you wanted to do something, but you were afraid of the competition. You were afraid there were going to be others that were going to be getting to that thing first or winning over you or something. And despite the fact that there would be competition to do this thing, you decided you would take a risk and you would do it anyway and risk maybe not winning or, you know, whatever. And what ended up happening is you competed, you did decide, you're like, okay, I'm going to compete. Like, I'm thinking about when I auditioned to go to Berkeley in Boston. It is a prestigious music school. It's EE, not EY. And it's one of the most prestigious music schools in the world. And it's highly competitive to get in. And I have a student who I've been working with for a couple of years. I've been teaching him production with Ableton Live, and he's amazing. He actually ended up co-producing the trap beat on my most recent song that I finished. And he has wanted to go to Berkeley since I met him. That's one of the reasons why his father hired me, because I was a Berkeley grad, and he felt that I would give him, you know, perspective on the program and be able to. And honestly, I was like, dude, you're going to be so far ahead when you get there, because I've taught him college level stuff for the last 2 years. So I was like, it's good because it's really hard. So you'll know what you're doing, instead of being like, I was like, I have no idea what any of this means. So I've been working with him really closely, and he's been very wanting to get in so much, like, and just kind of, he's a Taurus, so he's practical, and he will, you know, I can tell he wants it so bad, but then he's so afraid. Like it's very competitive. And I told him, you know, every time I would reassure him, I'd be like, look, you're amazingly talented. I've been working with you. You've got great recommendations. There's really nothing for you to worry about. In the back of my mind, I was like, damn, I hope he gets in, because like, I just really want him to have that triumph. It's 11:55 on the clock and 1:55 on the timer. I know he can do it, but I'm just like, there's a lot of competition. And then I woke up last week and he texted me, I got in. He was so excited. He sent me his acceptance letter and I was like, yay. And I thought, oh shit, I'm so glad, because I actually knew that it's one of the most competitive schools to go to. And I kept mentally preparing him. I was like, listen, I know you're going to get in. And on the off chance that you didn't get in, you can just apply again. It's not that big of a deal. Like persistence, showing up and being persistent, eventually will get in. You don't have to worry about it. I just try to reassure him on every level. But I got into that school too. And I got into that school when I was 15, and then I couldn't go. And then years later, I auditioned again, and at 29, and I got in again. So that is an extremely competitive school. And I was competing as a vocalist, and it's really, 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 really common to be a vocal major there. And so the fact that I got in was like shocking to me. I was like, oh my God, I did it. I beat the competition and I got in. And so I want you to think about something like that, because, and you're like, what does that have to do with anything? Because part of your problem is that you are competing with, in your mind, you're competing with this karmics that divine masculine has. And so you're thinking that you're not going to win, or that he's going to choose someone over you. This is about being chosen. These are the deep wounds you have about being chosen. So in order for me to clean out those wounds for you, it seems like it would make more sense for me to be like, oh, let's work on ways that you were chosen in the past in relationships. But it's actually counterintuitive, because when I talk to you about romantic things and you're trying to create a romantic thing, then you can't get it. So if you're here for a job, then you should think about the times in the past when you beat competitions for maybe a partner, like when you beat out someone else and they picked you instead. That might work for you if you're trying to manifest like getting into a school, or if you're trying to manifest getting into this competitive career. So take your headspace out of the thing that you're after and choose something that's a similar experience, but easy for you to be general about and easy to believe in. Let's help the masculine. Divine masculine, what are you constantly thinking about over and over again? Wow, you're still thinking about this. Ascending, transcending obstacles, learning, expansion, new phase, and preparing for union. So you are constantly thinking all the time, I have to get these obstacles out of the way. I have to rise above them. I need to learn shit. I need to enter into new phase. I need to prepare for union. I need to actually face my commitment issues. Holy shit. What will help you stop thinking of that over and over and over and over and over again? This is crazy. The chaser and the engagement ring. The chaser says, chaser in a codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issues, and engagement, partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, and union. You're trying to prepare for union, and what would help you if you just released this codependent relationship that you have, somebody chasing you. There's someone that's trying to get this out of you, and it is not the divine feminine. It is someone else who thinks they are invested or thinks they're going to get this. And you need to release that energy. You also need to, the reason that you even have this codependent chaser right now, and I'm pretty sure I can see her in the masculine's tag post here, this bitch with the NDA, like I swear to God. Anyway, the reason you have this is because your fear of abandonment issues pushed you into starting a shallow karmic relationship that went too far. And that person is now chasing after this commitment from you. And meanwhile, you're trying to prepare for this, to actually give this ring to your divine feminine. So what you need to do is drop the fear of abandonment, which is represented as this karmic person that's chasing you. That is just a representation of your fear of abandonment. You were afraid divine feminine would leave you, so you make sure you have a bunch of back burner energy. That's all that's going on. Drop this and bring this offer of engagement in. And you need to enter into a little bit of chaser energy in order to get that ring to your feminine, because your feminine is about to drop you like a bad habit or already has. Okay. That's why your abandonment issues are being triggered. So rather than trying to figure out how to do that right now with your brain, which is just going to keep you in this same exact place that we're looking at, this is where you want to go, but you're going to stay here if you try to figure this out. How can you go general? Why is my phone going off? Shh. Where is the sound coming from? Okay. Karmic relationship. Fleeting triggers, turmoil, resentment, lessons, letting go, and loving you. So you need to go general. You need to be thinking about, this is interesting because I actually you are supposed to think about relationships here. What you need to think about is the number of times that you have been a karmic and you felt like, and you were chasing something through someone else, and then your feelings went away. You realized you were chasing, and then you let go and you just loved yourself instead. So if you kind of go general about the times when you had somebody that you were chasing, and then once you realize, like, geez, I'm chasing this person and they don't even care about me, that you just let them go. You were like, whatever, man. Like, this person is not actually, I don't love them. I don't love them. So you need to think about when you've experienced that, where you're like, I don't love them. Another thing that you could think about to go general, in order to relieve this pressure on yourself, is if you are afraid that divine feminine is going to leave you for a karmic relationship, I think you have to think about times in your life when you got something that you wanted to have for a long, like you wanted in your life always, and you were afraid it might go away. I'm thinking right now, like if you got a career, like if you entered into a career that seemed like it was really difficult or hard or impossible to get to, and you did get there, like you learned the lessons you needed, and then you finally got there, but you were afraid, like, will I stay here? Will I stay at the top of my career? Will I remain relevant? Okay, will I still be relevant? And you had a lot of fears about it, and a lot of things would trigger you, but you've realized that over time that it's not going anywhere. You woke up one day and you were like, oh, I am this thing that I was trying to be, and I'm always going to be this, and it's not going to go away. That's something else I feel like is going to help you in terms of your abandonment wounds, is knowing that it's you that chooses to stay, not the other way around. If you choose to stay, to stick with something, it sticks with you. Okay. And the final message for the collective, this healthy choices card is in reverse. Self-love and self-care has been difficult for you right now. You've been accepting treatment from somebody who doesn't treat you well because you haven't been loving yourself. You've been loving someone else more than you've been loving yourself. And divine masculine, you haven't been showing up because you have been loving, well, because you haven't been loving yourself. You've been loving others more than you've been loving yourself. And that's preventing you from being able to love the feminine, ironically. I do hope that you received a lot of enlightenment from these messages today. I hope that you will cut out any energy that does not communicate with you at this time. And when I say cut out, I mean it. I mean it. I don't mean like you'll check their profile later to see if they're going to say something indirect to you. I don't mean you have to block them. For some, it's appropriate, but I just think blocking is not really the solution. Like if you have to block an account to stop yourself from looking, you do what you have to do. But Personally, I think making your account private so that the other person can't look at it without actually following you, either from a catfished profile or from their actual profile, is at least one step for yourself to set this healthy boundary. That's like, if you can't look at me from the perspective of one of my close friends or even my followers who have no trouble like admitting that they like me by following me, right? If you can't be a member of that group of people, then you can't have a place card at my table. Like, you can't come to my table if you can't come without your mask off. So you might consider making your account private. That will eliminate this ability for you to communicate with them as well, because you can put as many messages as you want in your stories. If the account is private, then third-party accounts can't see it. So I recommend that. And I recommend that you stop looking at your person's profile by choice, not because you've blocked it. If you've blocked it so that that's like not keeping foods in your cupboards because you don't trust yourself to eat them. That's not effective. Yes, it provides an environment where you can't transgress, and it makes it easier. And I guess if you need easier, do the path of least resistance. But ultimately, what you want to be doing is consistently choosing to honor your own boundaries, which are being violated by this person who is refusing to communicate in an open way. And I don't care what their reasons are. I don't care if they had a horrible, tragic thing happen to them when they were a baby. So did I. I had an incredibly terrible thing happen to me. And then it happened again throughout my life. And many other things have happened. And you know what? I didn't turn into an asshole. I turned into somebody who is caring and nurturing and kind and considerate and loving. That's what trauma did to me. So you can have trauma, but if it's your reason for wounding me, it's not a good reason for me to allow you to continue to wound me. So take your trauma, Ted Bundy, and go into your solitary confinement if you keep hurting other people. I love me a serial killer, but I do not love them to be my partner, right? Okay. I hope that helps everybody. I shall see you. I haven't heard from Sin, but I'm assuming that I'm going to be doing the live TikTok for an hour with Grace Strega either tomorrow or Sunday. So stay tuned to our stories to find out. I would maybe Sunday because of the holiday, but I'm not sure. So just stay tuned to my stories for that on Instagram. And then you can catch me on TikTok 6 days a week. And I will be back on Monday with the Divine Energy Check-In. I will do a second Tell Me Everything spread either Saturday or Sunday, depending on when the reading with Grace Strega takes place. Thank you so much. I will see you all this weekend. Have a wonderful New Year's. Happy New Year's to everybody. I'm probably going to do a little New Year's spread kind of a thing tomorrow, just like probably quick on one of the platforms. So stay tuned for that as well. Have the best day.